Alright, what's the video at right now? 27 minutes. Okay. He wants to watch a, hour-long video. Alright. So, next we're going to talk about Apple's releases at WWDC. Not only their releases, but their announcements. I'm not just leaning here, I'm looking at my laptop, apple.com. And they finally updated their homepage. You know, I said that in my Windows 7 demo. Before they had the revolutionary new iPad, and I was like, I don't want an iPad. Introducing MacBook Pro with Retina display. This is a bit confusing. I'm going to talk about the MacBook Pro first. They did some stuff. They discontinued the 17-inch MacBook Pro. Which, you know, there's certain arguments for and against those larger laptops. I am pro bigger screens on laptops for several reasons, but in the interest of time, I won't bore you with that just yet. But they discontinued 17-inch MacBook Pro, but they're still selling three models. They're selling 13-inch, 15-inch, and a separate 15-inch model. It's not like just upgraded, but it's literally a separate model. It's like the MacBook Pro Pro. So if you go to the Apple Store and click on MacBook Pro, you'll see the two different things. There's MacBook Pro, and it has 13-inch and 15-inch. And then there's MacBook Pro with Retina display is what it's called. And it's just the 15-inch one. 15-inch MacBook Pro is from $1,800. The MacBook Pro with Retina display that's 15 inches is from $2,200. So, a bit more expensive there. You know, the other two, like the normal MacBook Pro, that was just an update, like a refresh. They upgraded their components that are the same kinds of components. MacBook Pro with Retina display, they made some changes. Retina display, if you couldn't catch it from the name, like my iPod Touch has a Retina display, which, you know, I think it's pretty nice. Honestly, I didn't notice that my old iPod Touch without the Retina display was that bad. I mean, obviously, if I look at my laptop, I can see the pixels, but I think that the Retina display is a plus. Nevertheless, all flash storage. So instead of a hard disk or even an SSD, which uses flash storage, but it's in an SSD case. They made it better. They put the actual flash chips right on the logic board, like they did with the MacBook Air a while ago. And here we go. Yeah, all flash architecture. So there's, you know, the RAM that's flash, and then they have flash storage now, which I'll admit, it is a heck of a lot faster. If you say that a hard disk is faster than flash storage, then I'm calling you out right now and saying you're wrong. There are benefits to hard disks too. For instance, you can get them much cheaper for much larger amounts of storage, but yeah, flash architecture is, flash storage is definite plus. Quad-core Intel i7 processors. I think they had that in the in the 17-inch before, but 0.71 inches thick, 4.46 pounds. So they say it's not just the most advanced notebook we ever made; it's the most advanced Mac we ever made. That was a quote from Apple's website. That's not what I am calling it. But yeah, they made some changes, and they did some really nice stuff. Retina display, I know a lot of people do care about that. All flash storage is faster. It's faster. Long-lasting battery. Alright, it's 2 hours faster than the other ones, according to Apple. Now, I was talking to someone, but I was instant messaging someone, and they said that, you know, the Retina display, that is totally going to kill the battery life. But because they're using that flash architecture, I'm looking right now for, they showed at the keynote a picture of inside the MacBook Pro. Here we go. People say, oh, Apple doesn't want you to know what's inside of their computers. Well, they tell you what's inside their computers when they're proud of it. Okay, so it's not quite as much as I had thought. I had thought it was like 60% battery, but look at the bottom of this. I'm breaking. I was trying not to, but I'm gonna go ahead and screw with the tripod and show you this picture on Apple's website. This is on Apple's website. I don't own it. Don't sue me, please. And it's, you know, tilted too, because my laptop's on a battery that tilts it up, and it's a horrible design, but I'll go ahead and read you these little things. Flash. This is the storage. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna zoom in. You used to have a hard disk, now you have this. This is your new hard disk. It is right there on the rest, with the rest of the computer. It's not in any sort of case, it's just there. You can see the words there, flash. Yeah. Then there is processor. Right there. I guess it might be somewhere near there. This is the RAM right here. Not typical RAM sticks, but once again, it does save some space. So, unless you were like really looking forward to upgrading just for the fun of upgrading, then I don't know. But GPU. Now, the processor and the CPU are the same thing. Don't like try and prove me wrong with this. It says GPU, graphics processor. It does have a dedicated graphics processor. It's right there. And then almost 40% of the computer is battery. That entire, like, this, and this are batteries. Like, out of the entire thing, the two biggest components are a couple of fans and batteries. Batteries are the majority of this. Like, there is nothing else that takes up more space than the batteries. They are really doing their best to provide you with a decent battery life. And so, oh my gosh. There we go. And so, even if you do think that the Retina display is going to cut down battery life, I think they've accommodated for that, at least in the time being. High efficiency fans. Asymmetrically spaced. That means that they're not symmetrical. How does that... Oh! It moves more air. Okay, before I did not get that. I'm like, what's so amazing about non-symmetrical things? How is that a better design? But yeah. Breakthrough speakers. Oh, that's what those were. Dual microphones. Now they say, alright, dual microphones. It's stereo recording. But they're both on one side of the computer. So it's like stereo recording if you're talking right up to the microphone. But nevertheless, you know, it's microphones. So that's the new MacBook Pro. They also have the old new MacBook Pros that are still new. They're just not the new technologies. Still have the unibody stuff, FaceTime, HD camera, you know, the works. What else did they do at WWDC? Moving on from that, they announced iOS 6 and OS X Mountain Lion. Mac OS X Mountain Lion. iOS 6, they are doing a couple of things. Facebook integration. I don't find it any more exciting than Twitter integration, but if you spend a lot of time on Facebook, might be a plus. They ditched Google Maps. Hello. I already got that, so I'll just put in the clip from the other take I did of this here. But they did ditch Google Maps. They have their own Maps thing now. iPad, they added Siri on the iPad. Facebook integration, shared photo streams. It's kind of like MobileMe public galleries. Passbook, that is like passports and other passes and payment things can all be managed in this one convenient thing. The problem is people need to support it. And I'm telling you, if you support this, you better freaking support other operating systems too, companies. Just a warning. But not that I think this is bad. It's great design, you know, just low support right now. FaceTime, they already had that. Oh, FaceTime over cellular. So before FaceTime was only over Wi-Fi, now you can do it basically as phone calling. Phone. They already had a phone. Oh. Okay, so this is neat. You know, some people were jailbreaking for mods that allowed them to put back the accept or decline buttons, whereas like in iOS 5 they switched it. There used to be two things that said answer or decline, but instead they took those away and they just added slide to answer. So if you were in a meeting or something and your phone goes off, you're screwed unless it's on vibrate. But it's nice to be able to decline. You can also reply with message or remind me later. Messages like I'll call you later, I'm on my way, what's up, and then there's custom. I could reply with messages on my Android phone before, now you can do it on iOS. Good thing. They made good use of the camera space, because you know how now when you're in the lock screen you can grab the little camera thing here in the lock screen, swipe it up for the camera. Well, now, when you're receiving a phone call, that camera will turn into a phone, and it'll give you those options: decline, answer, reply with message, remind me later. So, very good, nice integration. That is, yeah, probably going to be useful. There's mail, VIP inboxes now. I don't like what they've been doing to... I don't dislike it, I just... Like, you know, the unified inbox, well, on certain mail accounts, I have to delete things permanently, and on other ones, I have to archive them. Like, everything I get, I need to archive. And, you know, other email accounts, I need to file everything appropriately. So, it doesn't say to whatever the email account that it was sent to is, it just says to, and then your name, or me. But, for people who don't have, OCD email, things like I do, then, it's probably going to be nice. Safari, iCloud tabs, that's good. I think that, Safari is getting to be better on all of the operating systems. Sadly, it's not on Linux, so I just can't use it as a main browser. I'm using Chrome. For those of you who don't know, ask me why, and I'll tell you. But accessibility, guided access, so you can like highlight areas of the screen in certain apps to disallow. So like in a flashcard app, you could like make it so that people can't go out of the set of flashcards, but they can still swipe around within it. So that's good. Find my iPhone, find my friends. Those who share their locations with you. Okay, so it's not like people can just pinpoint me on a map whenever they want to. But, you know, this is still sort of scary because you know that about half the people out there are going to click yes if they don't know what it is, and then half the people are going to click no. And those half that click yes, I don't think it's going to cause serious issues, but I would not like that myself. I mean, you can receive alerts like when your kids leave school or arrive home. So it can be a good thing. I'm not saying not to integrate this technology. I'm just saying make sure they really opt into this and not just click opt in. There's remodeled stores. Okay. Stores are fine by me right now, so don't know what they're going to do. New features for China. I betcha that's a big deal in China. It's going to be supported iPhone 3GS and up, iPod Touch 4th generation only once again, and iPad 2 and the new one. And the last thing, what are we at? It's 43 minutes. Whoa. Okay. Alright, so there is Mac OS X, that stands for 10. Mountain Lion, that's 10.8, right? I want to know what happens when they get to OS 11. Are they going to call it OS 11? So Mountain Lion, it is okay. It's putting more iOS things into it. I keep having to sit up. Why don't I just move my camera? There we go. So there's Notification Center. Slides out from the right side. I could see how that would be nice as long as it's not too intrusive. iCloud integration, like documents in the cloud and stuff. Messages. So, you know, iMessages on iOS, now there's messages on Mac. Once again, only supported on Apple platforms, though. Notification Center, we already looked at that. Messages. iMessage now comes to the Mac. Just like when they put FaceTime on the Mac, but it's text. Notification Center. The notifications themselves, like when you're not in the Notification Center, look a whole lot like Ubuntu's notifications. They're just they match the theme more. Notification Center can be entered while you're in full screen apps, which they've really been promoting. Alright, this is neat. Power Nap is what it's called. Mac stays up to date even while it sleeps. When your Mac goes to sleep, it still gets things done. Stop. That was not even the end of the sentence. But when your Mac goes to sleep, it still gets things done. What I previously presumed as sleep mode is where the computer dumps everything that you're doing into the system RAM and then shuts off everything, including the CPU, except for the system RAM, and it leaves the RAM with just enough power to continue to have things in the system RAM. If it can get stuff done, that means that the CPU is still powered on, so your sleep mode isn't going to use like such a conservative amount of energy as it was before. But you know, you can sync with iCloud and back up with Time Machine while it sleeps. I think it's a good thing. I just think that they should make sure they offer the old one too, in case you don't want your computer doing things when you don't think it is. I don't know. Dictation, there's no Siri on the Mac yet, but there's dictation, which is like you click in a word processor and you start talking, and it figures out what you're saying and types it in for you. You do have to say the entire thing before it talks, or before it puts all of it in. So, like, if you're doing a big thing, then you have to first figure out what you're going to say, and then say it all at once, and then go back and edit errors, because there are going to be some. But, you know, that it's still good. Sharing, just some sharing things. Email, iMessage, Facebook, Twitter. Facebook integration, once again. Kind of like Twitter integration. AirPlay. That's nice if you want to share your screen with, like for a presentation or something. Some people use it for gaming. I'd use it for, you know, keynotes. It's the Mac version of PowerPoint, by the way, is Keynote, or Apple's version, for those of you who don't know. Because some people don't. Game Center. iOS Game Center never really took off. I think it could have if they would have set some standardization with the integration there. But I think that if developers use Game Center, and enough of them use Game Center, then all of them are going to want to use Game Center. But if not enough do, then none of them are going to want to. But Game Center can be a great thing. It's neat. Gatekeeper. Okay. So, Gatekeeper, kind of... It basically asks you before, like, applications install, and, like, has you set where they can be installed from specifically. And you guys who are saying, like, I've seen people say, you know, oh, well, Apple is totally limiting the use of our Macs. Like, they're making it safer by limiting what we can do with them. They're not really limiting what you can do with them, because there's 3 options, very broad 3 options, granted, but there's Mac App Store, so you can install apps only from the App Store. There's Mac App Store and Identify Developers, so you can install applications from the App Store and from developers who don't want to sell for the App Store, but they do provide verification. And then there's Anywhere. So you can still install applications from anywhere you want to. It's still possible. You can still do it without doing a billion things. It's an option that's built in. You know, somebody said that sandboxing was, like, limiting what you can do. Google Chrome sandboxes. I've never been to a website I couldn't access. I've never had a website crash my entire browser either. Sandboxing. Actually, your computer's already using sandboxing. Crash an application. Just find an application, make it crash. If the entire computer does not go down, if it just says, like, we are sorry for the inconvenience, blah blah blah, like, needed to close, something like that on Windows. On Mac, like, I don't know what it says on Mac, but it's already using sandboxing. Everything does. It's not limiting. It's a security feature, but, yeah, Gatekeeper sounds familiar. There was something like it before. So it's basically just trying to rebrand it to raise awareness, I think. Can anyone remember what the old one was called? Like, introduced in Leopard or something? Safari. Browsing is just the beginning. That's what it says. I don't know about you. I thought that browsing was the entire point of web browsers, but... Oh. You can see open tabs in tab view now. Kind of like on iOS, so... I guess that's neat. All new features for China. Woohoo. So yeah, there's iOS 6 and OS X Mountain Lion were announced. A MacBook Pro with Retina display was released and announced. That's what happened at WWDC this month. And what Microsoft did this month, Surface was announced. Windows 8 was referenced. All of this stuff comes in the fall. Windows 8 and the Surface come in the fall. So do iOS 6 and Mountain Lion. So, you know, this is kind of telling you what is going to happen. And, you know, the first day of summer was 2 days ago, last Wednesday. So, you have a season to wait. And, yeah, that's what's going on. That's what Apple's done. That's what Microsoft has done. And this is the part where I kind of, like, the ball stops rolling in my mind, and I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. So, if I don't cut myself off right here, then I guess I'll, see you later. See ya. Okay, hopefully I got to everything I wanted to. This really would have been easier, by the way. This would have been a heck of a lot easier to make, like, a separate video for each of them. You know how hard it's going to be? Like, I could have made a 30-minute video on both of these, but instead I'm going to have to put both of them down to 45 minutes. So, I really did this for your convenience. If you want to know more about either one, let me know, though, because I would be perfectly happy to make a video specifically about what Microsoft has been doing in the past few months. And I'll make a video about specifically what Apple's been doing. But yeah, these are both going to be in one video because I want everyone to know that both companies are important and everyone should be up to date on both of them anyways, just for knowledge. Are the credits going on yet? Note to self, put credits here. Okay, it's 4 o'clock p.m. and I have until 12 o'clock a.m. to edit 2-hour-long takes into 45 minutes of a YouTube video. And I'm not even going to start yet. So, wish me good luck.